following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Women empower women. We're daughters, wives, sisters, and mothers making strides in our own lives. We're women in sports, and what matters to you matters to us. Let's talk about it all on The Playmaker. Here's your host, Nikki Harrison.
Welcome to The Playmaker. I am Nikki Harrison, and I am so thrilled to be with these two Playmakers today.
You're a Playmaker.
Beyond thrilled. Let me introduce you to Taylor Stern. She is Cowboys content strategist, and Mrs. Michelle Witten. And yeah, you heard me right, Witten. She is the better half of 11-time Pro Bowl Dallas Cowboys tight end, Jason Witten. Thank you for joining me, ladies.
Thank you, Nikki.
Of course. So I'm just gonna start at the beginning. Michelle, I'm gonna start with you.
Yes.
I understand that you and Jason have known each other since you were children.
We are high school sweethearts, and we both went to Tennessee and then journeyed on to the NFL in Dallas and have been here ever since.
How long have you two been married?
I think it's 16 years.
That's fabulous.
Wow. Wasn't it before training camp, too?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Right before training camp, they got married.
We got married. We went on a quick honeymoon, and he left for training camp.
That's awesome. Now, I have to say, and you know this, the NFL is not known for, let's say, long careers.
Correct.
You know, and so I've been here for 13 years, and Jason Witten and long snapper LP Ladouceur are the only two players still on the team that were here when I got here and that are still here. That's
So
fabulous.
great.
So you are seasoned. You are well seasoned.
I was saying to the wives the other day, I was like, can you believe it's been that long? And they're like, no.
No.
I still don't believe
Do
it.
you,
Like
how many
yesterday.
times do you hear, because I hear this always during draft, when the Cowboys get new players, they're like, and this child was, this years old when Jason Witten first came into the league, and he's just still balling.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
You know, Cedric Wilson, who is a receiver,
Yeah.
Jason played with his dad.
Right.
And
I did hear that. I did hear that.
I didn't know that.
he can tell you a funny story about that. But
That's
yeah.
funny.
Well, how do you, being that you've been here for 16 years, how do you juggle it all? Because now 4 kids later, how do you stay grounded?
I think that we just think of it as Jason's job, and he has a really, really cool job. And we have struggles like everyone else, meaning like to get everything together and get our kids here and get homework done and, juggle now his schedule with the kids' schedule. We're real people with the same, I woke up with a zit on my forehead too.
We all do. We all do.
So it's just, we just feel very blessed.
Yeah. I love that.
But I think it's so amazing because I feel like you've always been that way. So I was telling Nikki that, both of you have never changed. And a lot of
Very
people
grounded.
think that does happen once you come into this life of glam and different things. But I just, how do you stay so?
I don't know. I think that we know where our blessings come from, and we're, we'd be too arrogant to think otherwise. And so it's just, such a journey, it's such a blessing. It doesn't seem real. I look back at pictures of us early in our career, and it's just mind-boggling. Like all of Dallas has seen us grow up.
That's right.
Right. And to see they're like, your boys, they're so big. I'm like, I know.
Yeah.
I mean, they
Your
were
oldest is
babies.
13.
13. And
Fabulous.
we even lived, a good 3 or 4 football seasons without kids. It's crazy, you know?
Now, Taylor, to you, you are content strategist for the Dallas Cowboys. Tell me, what does that entail?
Well, it's funny that you ask that because sometimes I don't even know myself. And, title is what I'm learning. And, we were just talking about how you're learning so much. And I've been lucky to be here all of my career, really.
Okay.
So I started here as the social media coordinator. And I did that for 3 seasons. And then 2 seasons ago, I switched into this new role, which has become more of a broad overview of different things that we're doing because we're producing so much content, like Playmake-Her and different things like that. And just kind of getting a handle of where it would be best distributed, and I don't know if I said that word right, but analytics and different things that are going into it so that it connects better with our fans and different things. Because I think that we're really fortunate here where we are providing different unique things that are cool for the millennial age or cool for the older fan, the avid fan, the casual fan. And we just kind of need a little rein. So that's sort of a recap of what I do.
Very cool. But you also are on air. You co-host Cover 4.
Yes.
And co-host Cowboys Hour with Brad Sham. This is second year doing that, right?
Yes, I love Brad Sham. He's the best.
I listened to you last night, actually.
Did you? I was very. You know, the funny thing about Brad Sham, and just to give him credit, and we were just talking about Christy Scales. There are a lot of men in this industry who sometimes will act like, oh, she's a young girl. She doesn't know what she's really talking about. Since the day I was working at the Cotton Bowl, when I was just a wee little intern, and I met Brad Sham because he was doing the Cotton Bowl, he has treated me with the utmost respect, and just, it makes me feel like I want to do a better job for him.
Absolutely.
And he does that for Christy, and he does that for so many people. So I really enjoy that.
I agree. Now, you had asked earlier, like, what is this show all about? Well, this show is about women empowerment. And you studied nursing.
Yes.
And you were an ER nurse, a trauma nurse at Parkland Hospital. Oh my gosh. What was
10
that?
years.
10 years. What was that like?
It was amazing. It was awesome. I loved that patient population. That, you know, it was two extremes of society that Jason and I worked with. You'd be going to a Cowboys game on Sunday, and I'd go work a 12-hour shift at Parkland on Monday. And it was the biggest gut check, reality check, perspective check. And I did it for 10 years. And I finally, when I had Landry, I had to stop working. And I struggled with that a little bit, not being Jason Witten's wife. You know, I mean, being Jason Witten's wife and not my own thing. But I'm so thankful I had those years before I really was thrown into the 4 kids.
Yeah. Well, because, I mean, being a mother of 4 children and Jason's career, that's a lot. I mean, it's not like it's you know, a small piece of cheese. That's a lot to handle. And then to be an ER nurse, that is a lot.
It was emotionally and physically exhausting, but I had about this much sympathy for Jason. And he would get so annoyed at me because I was like, you don't even know.
Right.
Like, this really hurts.
When he did play after he lacerated his spleen, I was like, this is not okay, but I support you because I know just, I understand the human body probably a lot more than the average Joe.
Absolutely.
You know, but I have never, ever feared Jason's health, and I've never feared, you know.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Would you say your, you know, background in nursing helps with that?
Absolutely.
Being that you are definitely educated in the field.
Yeah, and I think I've seen, like, when I worked at Parkland, I've seen crazy. And for Jason, people ask him, if I know I'm not going to get worse, you know, if I have an injury and I know that it's not, that's the mindset I have to have, then I can keep grinding, you know, and I think a lot of people play with fear and fear, and he's like, no, I'm going to be okay.
That's beautiful.
I was telling Nikki about the Witten Warrior mindset. Is that where it came from when you're doing that?
Yeah, it's just it's a mindset. Like, you grind it out, and like I tell my boys, we'll laugh. We'll say, "Oh, buddy," they'll complain after a flag game or whatever. I said, "Just quit football right now, buddy. Just stop. This is not your sport, Mom."
If this is bothering you,
all right. If you want to be a Witten Warrior, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't have many excuses.
Now I have
they
girls.
don't.
I just am like,
Are you the same with the girls?
I kind of am, and it's not.
No, it's good. It's good. My mom was real
good.
hard on me.
I don't know.
She was really
He's
hard.
a grinder. Jason's a grinder.
Yeah.
And we girls are tough.
Yeah, and I say that to my mom all the time, that I'm actually really happy how hard she was on my sister and I. And at the time, you hate it.
Yeah.
You're like, why is she doing this? But she never had any reason to think that we shouldn't be doing as much as we can.
Absolutely.
And there were a ton of girlfriends. I mean, I remember in college specifically, I was working full time. Yeah. My parents made me do it even when I had a full schedule. Yeah. And I came back to the sorority house, and all these girls are sitting on the couch watching Netflix. And I'm like,
Yeah.
What is this what you guys do? And they're like, yeah, you know. Well, I don't have a class until 3 p.m. And I was like, I have to work from 1 to 2:30, then, you know, go to class. And then that's why I think right now I can handle different things.
Right.
I think nursing is one of the hardest degrees in college. I mean, what other degree are you required to be at the hospital, you know, at 6:30 on a Thursday, Friday morning? You know, study, you're doing that for 2 years. I mean, it is
tough.
Nurses are just not people.
And they're the ones that do all the work.
Yeah.
You know, the doctor comes in for a quick hot second, but the nurses are on top of it.
And that's why I love the ER, is the autonomy that you had in the ER, the trust that the doctors had with you, the choice and the free will that you had, and people were depending on you, you know, was just that. The ER is like the coolest little circle of people.
People feel like Cowboys football is life or death. You kind of know the truth of it all.
But I still want a Super Bowl. Let's get that straight.
Amen.
That trophy, you're holding it. Yeah. I know you are.
Oh, yes.
Now, Taylor, to you, congratulations are in order.
Thank you.
Because you were recently named Forbes, can't talk today, Forbes 30 under 30. Congratulations.
Yes,
Thank you.
amazing.
It's hilarious because as we're talking about people who save lives and do really incredible things.
Great segue.
Really incredible things. You know, I'm scrolling through this list and some person just found something to end Zika virus. And, you know, this person created this entire company that helps animals on their road to recovery. And I'm like, you know, and I work in sports. But I appreciate you saying that, and it was an amazing accomplishment. But the biggest thing that I'm trying to tell people is that the only reason that I feel like I'm on that list is because my parents and my sister and everyone around me has always instilled this belief, why not me?
Yeah.
You know, and I think truthfully that's the mindset you have to have going into things. Like, why can't I be on this list?
Definitely.
And everybody can. That's what I've told you that, Nikki. Everybody can. It's just some people want to give in to that self-doubt.
Absolutely.
And
all the time.
You got to have a good team around you.
My son came home they had a career path day, and he came home and he ranked up there. He's real, I don't know what CJ's going to do. He's real bright and brilliant. He loves sports, but he's really, I don't know if that would be his avenue, playing football or whatever. And he came home and he ranked really high in coaching, teaching. And, you know, Jason comes from a lineage of coaches and teachers. And I was like, that's so cool. But not only is it cool, it's like, you don't have to stop at the junior high level or the high school level. You can be an offensive coordinator. You can be a defensive coordinator. You could be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Dream big, brother. If you rank up there with I'm a teacher, coach, and that's your passion, be the best at that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know?
I love that. And that's your 13-year-old, right?
That's my 13-year-old.
Well, and to echo that, I'm around people like that every single day. Rod Marinelli has always been that person for me. Yeah, because at Valley Ranch when we had to walk by the coaching area, he was like, "What are you doing? What's going on? You doing good? What's the next thing you're doing?"
Yep.
And that's, you know, and Jason's like that.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's important people who are telling you like, well, why can't you do that?
Yeah.
Don't you want to be at the highest level?
They cap potential.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Michelle, I'm going to switch gears.
Yes.
I would say in the last, 2.5 years, the Witten family has made some pretty big decisions.
Yes, we have.
What was the hardest? Deciding to hang up the cleats, put down the mic, or pick the cleats back up? And I say this because I know it was a decision that the two of you made together. As a family, I'm sure you had the kids' input as well because it's huge. Yeah. What was hardest?
Walking away from football the first time.
Really?
Yeah.
That was
we never got to say goodbye. You know, we didn't think it would be our last year. And we knew that Monday Night Football opportunity would never come up for a decade, or, you know, you never know. But we knew football eventually was going to have to end. It seemed like the smart decision, and we have no regrets at all. I mean, he got to try that, and he knows if you watch the game this last week and you can feel his intensity come through the screen, we know he's better equipped to be down on the field, whether it be playing or coaching. It's just his passion, and so we've had a crazy year, but we're so happy to be back.
How did the kids?
They said, I mean, I've been kind of vocal about it. CJ's like, why did you retire in the first place?
Wow.
And Cooper goes, it's a good story, CJ. I'm glad this is a good story for
know
you.
what?
Okay. 'Cause
I- CJ, one day we're gonna be looking up and we're gonna be watching the Academy Awards or something like that, Tony's, whatever it is, and we're gonna be like, Witten, is that the same one?
Is that the same one?
And it is.
Yeah.
And he's gonna be walking up there and
Thinking of
love
something
that.
witty next. Yeah.
he's telling stories already. That's a really good sign.
That's good. Now, both of you have to deal with the critics and sometimes negative comments. You, knowing Jason better than anybody, you see them, you hear them. How do you shake it off? How do you shake it off?
Yeah. Well, you brought up Cowboys Hour last night. Mm-hmm. So we have this great Cowboys Hours with Dak. Dak's awesome, and I, again, feel always supported and loved by Brad Sham. We get off Cowboys Hour last night, and I was checking my email, and I have this email from this person who's the subject line is "Shut Up," and it goes in to tell me about. I tuned into this program to hear from Dak Prescott, and you kept asking him dumb questions, and just going down along the line. I screenshot it. I sent it to my sister, and I was like, "You need to stop sending me these emails." I was just kidding her. I was just kidding to her, and she wrote, "Tay, do you really care? Because I don't see anybody else on that stage with you.
Yeah.
This person wasn't on there with you."
Right.
And so the biggest thing that I've had to remind myself of, because there are plenty of days where I believe those people, and I want to say, "Wow, doubting myself and all these different things. Like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have asked that question." And you have to trust yourself. And I was telling this to two young girls who were there last night. If someone were to tell me I was tall, I would not believe them because I know that I'm short. And if someone were to tell me stupid, I shouldn't believe them too because I know I'm smart in certain ways.
That's right.
And so, I have to realize that those people are telling me things. They don't know the different experiences. They don't know anything that's actually happening. And it's fair for them to give their own opinion. That's always fair. But your confidence should never be subjective.
Absolutely.
And that's a hard lesson that I have to remind myself many days, but that's why I have the women around me.
For sure. Michelle, what about you?
You're awesome. That's why she was.
Yes.
What she was named. She's amazing.
100%.
So we, the chatter, later on in Jason's career, it would always be like, when's he going to hang it up? When's he going to hang it up? And we're like, whatever. Like, kind of just ignored that. The Monday Night Football, that was huge. And it was just, you just felt it was people behind, a computer screen. But it still affects
Call them
you.
thug thumbs.
You do, and you have to remove yourself. And then when we came back to play football, I made a commitment. Do not look at social media. Now, there's certain things that are verified that I may peek through, but I will never put Jason's name in there. And then it's funny, last night I was driving home from somewhere and I was flicking through the stations. There's all commercials, and the last one I pop up is the Cowboys, and I don't hardly ever go there. But because I respect Brad Sham and Taylor, I clicked it and I go, oh, Taylor's on. Oh, Dak's here tonight. Brad's on. So
It's a big night.
It's a respect, so you learn who you do want to listen to and whatnot.
Absolutely.
But I think Jason and I both learned, like, if you're hearing the chatter, it's your pride that wants it, and you want to be inflated by people of the world, and there's nothing to gain from it, good or bad, So, like, it's
so true.
It's so true.
you want to hear the good, but you don't want to hear the bad.
True.
So why go there?
Yeah.
It's tempting.
Yes.
I mean, when Jason scores, I'm like, let me see what the world's saying, because that's my husband, and I'm so proud. But I'm like, you made a promise. Don't go there.
I love that. Do you do anything with the children? Because you can't shield them from everything.
I couldn't imagine.
Well, they had a funny, the other day, I noticed somebody, I'm not going to say this because this is completely rude. I noticed a player and his hair looked completely dyed, okay? And I was like, well, his hair's dyed and nobody said anything about his hair change. And I said it to my friend, and my friend, we giggled, and Cooper and CJ go, Mom, we know about Dad's hair. Like, we know the controversy with Dad's hair.
We know the truth.
We're just such an open house.
Well, it sounds like you guys
we're
are
a lot of fun.
It's so.
But it was just funny how, like, who knows, maybe people were on social media, did notice that this guy's hair was dyed dark.
Yeah.
And that-
Anyway, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like,
And that's
I
what I'm
don't go there.
saying. It's like, I wish everyone knew, like, and that's, I feel for your girls, because I didn't grow up with social media.
No.
And I tell you this all the time with Kia. I don't know if I could have done high school. It's easier now as an adult and different things, and you're not around it as much. But I do feel for the younger girls and
me
young
too.
boys.
For sure.
My 13-year-old, he has a phone now because he does sports,
Yes.
and I want to be able to get in touch with him if he's on the bus or whatnot. But he's not allowed to have Instagram, Twitter, any of that. I
Agreed.
mean, I have to guard his heart, just
Absolutely.
not just from the world, but from whatever they may hear about Jason. Or that's true
Absolutely,
or not
from
true.
his peers.
That's not doesn't define us.
Now you bring up the kiddos in sports. Let me ask you this. What's more intense, watching Jason on the field or watching the kiddos?
Gosh, most moms would say their kids, but I think it's Jason.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's not just a game for us in the NFL. Like, it's our passion, our lifelong. I say we because we are a team.
That's right.
It is our lifelong dream and passion for him to win a Super Bowl. And my kids, I know it's going to be okay. You break your leg, it's going to be okay.
That's that nurse right
that's
there.
terrible, but meaning like Jason broke his leg his sophomore year in high school. It's going to be okay.
Yes.
And what we're teaching our kids, this is their first year to play tackle, is like, we're growing men off the field. And what you can learn from the game of football
It's true.
is where we're going. So I don't like, CJ went down a game. I did call Jason and said, how long do you hear? He's on the field right now. You know?
Come support. Come
Yes.
watch.
He's like, I'm coming.
I love that.
Frisco commute.
Now, how is he? Is he like on the sideline? What is he doing?
Well, he has, I will say that this is the first time we played tackle where we play other teams. And so they hear, this is what's crushing me, they hear Jason Witten's kids play.
Yes. Yeah.
So they'll make their way over to the stands. And so he has been down on the field so he can watch his kids and not be bothered by people wanting to autograph him in the midst of their game. Because our biggest fear is like them turning around, taking the attention away from what they're doing.
100%.
You know.
That's something that you definitely.
Yeah. Because in
I can
South
only
Lake, where we
imagine.
live, like for flag, oh, Jason's here. I mean, you know, they get used
Yeah,
to seeing them
everyone's-
around.
That
And
makes
now
sense.
this year it's been, we're playing the different schools.
Yeah.
Kind of, you know.
Well, ladies, Christmas is here.
It
You
is.
know, right around the corner. I can only imagine what Christmas is like at the Witten house.
Yeah.
Are you excited? What is Christmas like?
Well, we try to get through Thanksgiving and all the Cowboys
Yeah.
games.
Yeah.
There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And then we have a really big charity event that we do that kind of gets me really in the spirit. And then just kind of knock it out. Not
love
knock
that.
it out, like
I know. Yeah.
That's
you're
a busy
saying-
next
time,
week comes,
yes.
we had 7 programs in 1 week.
Wow.
Like, that's what I'm saying. How do you juggle that?
Well, I mean, I'm sure you're probably thinking about carpool
Yep.
right now.
It takes a village.
Yes, it does.
takes a village.
Yes, it does. And you're very family oriented. And Christmas always is during the NFL season.
It is.
How do you navigate? Because there's sometimes when there can be a game.
It's funny you bring that up because my first season, my family doesn't live here, and I was steadfast on I'm not traveling. You know, my mom kept saying, "Can you come home for a day? You know, Dad will arrange all this." I was like, "No, Mom, I gotta be here. I gotta be here." It was the 2015 year, which Michelle will remember. It was a very hard season, and I was just navigating it, and there were tempers and different things that were happening around the building. And Christmas was coming up, and I started to feel like, am I depressed a little bit? Am I getting a little, you know, what's going on?
Yeah.
And it wasn't just because I don't play, so I can't control any of that. And I called my dad and I said, would it be possible? I think I could get this Friday off because we were traveling to Buffalo the weekend. I said, I think I can get this Friday off. Can I come in from the night of Christmas Eve to the afternoon of Christmas? He's like, yes, no problem. So I did that. And now I don't think there will ever be another Christmas where I don't try to just have less than 24 hours home.
Yeah, it's important.
Because, and Michelle's right, you know, this season is a really tricky one because it's kind of like, you know, you have some space, you have your bye week usually pretty early October, and then it's like this crazy November, and it's very exciting and very fun. But you do need that little refocus, and it, depending if you're going to have playoffs or whatever it is, I feel like it's important to have that little, you know, family time.
Totally. Now, Michelle, back to you. Being a mother of 4 children, I know that you're very, very busy. But what do you and Jason do to not forget Michelle and Jason?
Oh, that's good. But he is my best friend. And I think that we, a lot of people say, oh, don't bring work home, don't bring football home. Like we do.
Yeah.
We talk about his whole day and my whole day. We try to do date night, but to be honest, during football season, it's hard, and me and the boys are back on the marathon train running from,
told you.
No way.
city to city doing
love
all
that.
of these amazing stadiums.
Yes.
So,
Because that's something that you guys have, where it's like you're trying to get to every single stadium.
we knocked off some more this year.
Have you? What's left?
Jacksonville, we won't make it there.
Won't make it there.
You never know.
Cincinnati, we won't make it there. Trying to think, there was like one more. Can't think of it right now, but we knocked off Detroit this year. The boys haven't been to New England. They got to do that.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, it's fun.
That's
I took the
good.
girls to the Redskins game and the Jets game, and I'm glad, and I pat myself on the back, but they're not going back to any more away games this year.
Too much.
They don't appreciate the journey.
I think one of the funniest things, the Witten Warrior thing that I saw was at the Pro Bowl last year, or was it 2 years?
Well, he called the Pro Bowl. So
I don't
maybe
know. It was
yeah.
one of the million ones that you've been to, and it was raining.
Yeah.
And you were like, the Witten Warriors are here in the rain.
No, this is it. He was broadcasting that game, and I was still sitting in the elements.
Right.
In the
With
downpour.
my boys in the pouring rain. And then come to find out there was this alumni suite we could have been sitting in all along.
No way.
NFL alumni. I was like,
What are we doing,
Jason's
Warriors?
so nice.
The glam, the life of the rich and fabulous.
I was freezing. I was like, he's not even playing, and I'm still doing this.
I love it. Well, before we wrap,
Okay.
I love to do this every show.
Okay.
My rapid fire
Oh,
question.
goodness.
So I'm going to ask you a question. You ready?
You first or me?
I'm going to start
You
with
first.
you.
Okay.
What time does your alarm go off every morning?
6:45.
All right. What about you?
It depends on if I think I'm going to work out that morning, but
Priorities.
usually 6:45, 7.
Okay.
Now, Jason's 5.
5.
I feel like
I don't do that.
Is he the guy who does not hit snooze?
And I'll say, do not make any noise when you're leaving. He's like, well, have a good day.
I love you too.
What's the first thing you do when you wake up?
Brush my teeth.
Okay.
Drink water.
Okay. What's on your makeup counter currently right now that you can't live without?
Mascara.
Okay.
You know me, Nikki. I'm over the top. I have way
Everything.
too much. Ooh, I have way too much. Too much.
Okay. Beach vacation or snowy mountains?
Beach. I'm allergic to cold.
Or allergic to cold?
I knew you were going to say that. I would say snow, but that's only because sometimes, and I need to get better about this, but I'm not into sand.
Yeah.
You're not into sand?
Texture sensory overload.
Yeah.
Love sand. All right. If you could only choose 2 people, dead or alive, to have a conversation with, who would you choose?
We did this with Dak last night.
You did?
I know what he said. I don't know. Jesus and I'd say Mother Teresa.
That'd be cool. That's a different one. One of mine is Oprah. I love Oprah so much. You know that as well.
Yes.
She's my girl. And I would be real disappointed if she's not like that. You know, I know people always say that, but Oprah would be one. And then, you know who I was always fascinated by was Audrey Hepburn.
Okay. Yeah.
I would just be curious to see how she balanced, because she dealt with different things as a woman, different than she would have to do these days, and she always put philanthropy first. And I just think she would be really interesting.
Very cool.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Didn't mean to cut you off.
I could talk forever.
Last one.
Me too, girl.
It's hard.
She's cutting us
I'm
off.
like, it's probably 45 minutes
That's
now.
how we're friends. We hit it off instantly.
I mean,
I love it. Well, okay, last one. Have you started Christmas shopping?
Yes.
Good. You.
yeah, sort of.
Sorta. That's me.
You know, I was like, Alex, you want to look at the Cowboys Pro Shop and tell me which ones you want so far? I know that's bad.
No, it's not.
Well, it just seems a little bit of a out. because
Not
it's
really.
But people love it.
That's right.
Like I keep thinking I need to do something besides that, but that's what people.
That's what
like.
people love.
That's
It's
true.
expensive for people.
It is. It is. I do like to have more thoughtful gifts and different things. You know, last year I got my mom a very small pillow, but on the pillow it had my sister and I's name, and then all of her dogs' names because she considers them just like children.
So yeah, got to give the
And she
people what
loved
they
it.
want.
It was like, you know, $20, but those more thoughtful gifts I like to do.
good.
Whereas
I
some of-
miss that I can't do that anymore. I have grace. There'll be time.
That's right.
I know.
That's
I
right.
know.
Well, ladies, I can't thank you enough.
You're welcome.
I mean, because you could have been anywhere, and you chose to come here and sit
She's the
and
best.
chat with us, ladies.
Thank you.
And I want you to write a
you.
book now. I'll write it for you.
That would be fun.
I'll be your ghostwriter. You can
Well,
just tell me.
I have to thank the crew. Thank you so much, and bye for now from the Playmaker. We'll see you next week.